Welcome to Darren Daily On Demand, your most trusted resource to help you become better every day. Here's your success mentor, Darren Hardy.
Welcome back to this very special series titled Success Exposed, the 10 X Factors Superachievers use to multiply the results and dominate their markets. So far, you've heard from Elon Musk, Will Smith, and Gary Vee on the needs to have tenacious and relentless drive. You learned how to 10 or 100 or 1,000x your rewards, results, life, and lifestyle from Jeff Bezos, Howard Schultz, Joel Osteen, and Paul J. Meyer by supersizing your thinking and aiming to solve bigger problems with your precious life force and time. The third X factor superachievers use to multiply the results and dominate their markets is their use of massive leverage. I'm certain you've heard about the Pareto principle before, also known as the 80-20 rule, which states that 80% of your effects come from 20% of causes. In productivity, in business, in producing results, that means only 20% of what it is that you do produces 80% of all your results. But here's the problem. You're spending 80% of your time and giving 80% of your attention and 80% of your talent and life force to tasks, functions, peoples, and projects that only produce 20% of your results. There is so much waste in that equation. To put it into Jim Rohn speak, you are spending major time on minor activities. This misappropriation of your time, of your attention, of your energy, of your life force is the biggest failure of your life. You could do anything with your time, and yet most people spend it on the trivial instead of the vital. I'm telling you, this is what causes your creator the greatest pain. This is what breaks his heart. To watch you use your precious time and the extraordinary capabilities that you've been bestowed and waste them on trivial activities. If only you'd flip this equation around to put it in its proper order and to spend major time on major activities. Those activities that give you leverage, those small hinges that swing the big doors of results, and only minor time, if any at all, on the minor activities. I learned this strategy when I was only 20 years old. This is what catapulted me way beyond my peers, way beyond far more intelligent, skilled, and experienced veterans in every industry that I entered. I found and utilized leverage. I told a story not long ago on specifically how I used it in real estate. I found most real estate agents spend a crazy amount of time on really minor activities. Oh, they think they are busy, they think they are being productive, but they have the formula wrong. Simply put, I identified the vital activities that predictably led to more listings and to more sales, and then only did those few things with my time. I did the 20% that produced the 80% of the results and got to number one in the office of 44 veteran agents my first year in the business because of it. Seeing how that worked, the next year, I doubled down on this leverage and only did the 20% of the 20%. That catapulted me to number one agent in the city that I worked in. My third year, I drilled it down to only 3 functions out of the 5,000 that realtors usually run around with their heads cut off, wasting their time on. Those 3 functions were pitching a listing, negotiating a contract, and prospecting. I used nearly 100% of my time on the 1% of vital functions that proved to predictably lead to more listings and more sales. And guess what? They did. And that is how I got to the top of the entire county of 3,000 agents. Hear me now. It had nothing to do with talent. It had nothing to do with skill, and it most certainly had nothing to do with experience, connections, education, good looks, or charm. Remember, I was still a snot-nosed kid. Practically, I was aged 20, 21, and 22. My only secret was massive leverage. And I tell you this not to tell you my story, nor to tell you how to be successful in real estate. I tell you this to tell you what is possible for your story in whatever industry that you operate if you will use this strategy that I'm exposing to you here. Now, you might be asking, okay, but how do you get all the other 4,997 things that do have to get done to operate your business? For that, I will bring in the expert counsel of Sir Richard Branson. Tell him, Richard.
I learned fairly early on the importance of delegation. And I think the moment you've got more than one business, you have to accept You can't be managing director of 2 businesses, 3 businesses, 4 businesses. So I learned to delegate early on, and I think that for people building businesses, I think quite early on it's worthwhile them trying to find somebody better than themselves to do the day-to-day running of their business, so they can think about the big picture. They can be entrepreneurial. They can do the next venture. They can be ready to firefight when something's going wrong. They can spend their time helping promote and put their companies on the map on a global basis. And if you delegate, you've got to be very careful not to second guess people. You've got to accept that let them make mistakes without jumping down on top of them all the time. Some things they'll do better than you. Some things they won't do quite as well as you. But giving people that freedom to make mistakes is very important. And I think but because I've been quite good at doing that, we now literally have about 300 different companies with 300 different managing directors.
I know trying to figure out where your massive leverage points are in your industry, in your job, and in your functions. I know that can be hard. And I know learning to set up your daily, weekly, and monthly methods of operation in order to stay focused on the rails of your vital functions can be hard. And I know how to find the right people to delegate to, how to oversee them, and how to work in concert with them can be hard. All I can tell you is that is why I created Insane Productivity as a training system. I had to figure out all these things on my own through lots of trial and error, lots of tweaking, iterating, and improving, something I have fine-tuned now over 30 years. And the best of every tool, every resource, every strategy and method is taught to you inside that one program. Hey, you come here every morning for advice, right? All I can tell you is what has worked for me. All I can recommend are the systems that I have created to help you, that distills the best of what I've discovered and proven to work. And they have since proven to work for more than, I think it's 35,000 now, global high achievers. This is not a sales pitch for you to buy it, by the way. This is just an offer to help. For me to help you find your leverage and massively scale your success, to make you the envy of your industry, to your community, to your friends and family. It's possible, and it's actually easier than you think, if you know how. Insane Productivity is not open for public enrollment right now, but for you watching me now, in honor of your participation in this special series, if you are not already an Insane Productivity member, I will have my team set up a backdoor so that you can get it if you want. It's up to you. You're free to accept or refuse this invitation. Just know this, the program eventually becomes, well, not only free, but it's guaranteed to deliver you a 3 times return on your enrollment investment, or I give you all your money back. No joke. In other words, you're going to lose money not buying it. But again, it's up to you. This is just for those who desire to go for greatness. As we discussed in X Factor number 1, you got to have the drive to go for it. And tell us, what are 2 to 3 most vital functions of what you do to create results in your business or your role that give you the most leverage? What are those small hinges, those few activities that swing the big doors of results for you?
Hey, Darren mentioned his award-winning Insane Productivity System in this episode, but you might not know what that is or where to get more info. If you go to insaneproductivity.com, like Darren mentioned, it's completely sold out. But since you're here on this special podcast series, Darren asked me to give you backdoor exclusive access to the program. So go to darrenhardy.com/VIP to learn more. That's darrenhardy.com/VIP for your exclusive access.